Hi, Pat Gillis here, and today we had a riding lesson with one of our friends. It was our first lesson, and it was really cool on a lot of levels. And one of the things that I found intriguing was that she was mentioning after the lesson was over that one of the things that she finds really interesting to think about is that the horse is actually, we don't use the reins so much to steer as much as she thought. Like when you watch movies and stuff, they're always, hi-oh silver, going somewhere. And even people, when they first learn to ride sometimes, you'll see that they think of it as the horse is ridden with the rider's hands. Because we drive cars, we ride bicycles, we do a lot of things with our hands as human beings. And it's not unusual or unreasonable to think that you would also think of controlling the horse that way. The funny thing about the horse is very much rear-wheel drive. So one of the analogies that I would always use with students is to think of the horse like, imagine that I get a bottle of Coca-Cola out of the refrigerator, or for Pepsi lovers, Pepsi, it doesn't matter, or beer, whatever you want to think of. If I get that bottle out of the refrigerator and I really carefully take it off the shelf, carefully take the cap off, and then I point it towards you, all that's going to happen is the Coca-Cola is going to fall out on the ground. However, if I take another bottle out, I know you're impatient, if I take another bottle out, she's heard this story before, if I take another bottle out, I take the cap off and put my thumb over the top, and now if I shake it like this, and then I spray it towards you, I can probably get you even if you're 100 feet away. And it's the same thing with the horse. If we generate energy in the back of the horse, and it goes through the horse, the energy goes through the horse, we need only direct the energy with our reins. One could argue the reins are only good for those things, to either direct the energy, to control the energy, or to allow the energy. So we don't allow the energy to go through, we allow the energy to go through, or we direct it wherever we want to go. If you try to think of the reins like that, I mean there's nuances to that, but on the most basic level, those are the purposes of the reins. The other thing with riding horses is you want to think to yourself, I'm going to ride the part of the horse that I'm sitting on. The more that you can control the horse with your body and control the horse's body, the better off the horse is. If you think to yourself that the spine of the horse extends all the way up to here, the horse's spine. So, it's important for us to allow the horse to use his head and neck in as long a fashion as he wants to for his level of training. If we sit on the horse here and shorten the horse's neck prematurely, we're actually tightening the whole back of the horse, because this is one continuous thing, the spine of the horse. So there's all of these things to think about when we ride. The other thing, as I was telling Jocelyn today, is that human beings, if we're trying to keep our balance, we do it this way. Like, so if I was going to walk on a tightrope, I would stick my hands out this way. The horse, he uses his head and his neck to balance. So we're a bit of a poor partner for the horse in a lot of ways, because if we're riding and we lose our balance, our inclination is always going to be to come this way, and the horse's inclination is always going to be to use his head and neck. One of us has to change that, and since we ask the horse to come into our world, we're going to have to be the ones that change it. You're going to take my neck off with this. We're going to have to be the ones who change it. So the horse should be allowed to use their head and neck to balance, because they're keeping us up off the ground, right? But we have to learn ways to figure out not to disrupt the horse's balance by pulling on the reins. So those are just my thoughts today. It's a lot of fun to teach beginners for two reasons, I should say. One, it's fun to sort of see people have a kind of an awakening about how wonderful horses really are. And the other thing is just, it always inspires me, I guess, a little bit to watch my school horses interpret what someone's trying to do. And they're just such wonderful creatures when you think about it. That there's really no particular reason horses should allow us to do the things that we do to them. And yet there they are, they do. So anyway, that's all I got this week. It's just, again, remember that you generate energy, the horse is rear-wheel drive, so we push the horse from the back to the front, and our reins either allow the energy, contain the energy, or direct the energy. That we ride the part of the horse that we sit on, and that we don't ever shorten a horse's neck past his point of training, because this is part of his spine. He needs his head and neck to balance just as we need our hands to balance. So our job as riders is to learn to find our balance within ourselves without having to use our arms and hands that way. And then we make a better partner for the horse. So that's it for this week. If you've got any questions or if you've got any comments, give me a shout, leave a comment below. This is Shade, by the way, my little impatient Shade. Anyway, and if you've got any other questions, leave a comment below. You can go over to our blog, which is at ismyhorsehappy.com, and you can leave a comment there. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Thank you, and we will talk to you next time. And remember to thank your horse. Okay. Thanks.